I'm going to turn our program on.
Sounds glorious.
Look at all the hunky boys.
Not people, brains.
Stop your grinning and drop your linen. Found them.
Where's your pass?
Screw your pass.
Due to the recent events that have occurred, effective immediately, all classes are suspended until further notice.
Sup. You're listening to Students of Horror, where we don't claim to be authorities on the subject, but students of the genre, expanding our studies one movie at a time. Our assignment for this episode is 2008's Let the Right One In, as we study the subject of international films. And this one has a focus on European films. Swedish, to be precise. Thanks so much for joining our study session. I am Sam. I am the host for tonight. We're going to do a quick roll call. Ross, are you here?
I am here. Quick second. Can you just do me a quick favor? Can you invite me into the episode tonight? Can you just invite?
No.
Oh,
that I've learned from this movie and some other favorites that's going to be a no. But I mean, I can hear you, so you stay there and we're good.
Yeah, I might just need some tissues for my eyes leaking, but okay, yeah.
All right. And Brian, who is also not invited in, he is in a box in a train, and we sent him off for a while, but he'll be okay. Yeah. But it's not just us. For this episode, we are very excited to welcome a special guest. If you've listened to friends of the show, Fun with Horror, or the Nightclub, you may have heard her there, or perhaps you came to us through her own show, Cinematic Nightmares. Please welcome Meka G to the show.
Yeah!
Thank you so much. Now I get invited in, right?
Yeah, you're invited in. Yeah, we're not going to make you.
Ow.
Yeah, sorry, Ross. She's a guest.
I'm going to stay out of the cold. Yeah, it's true. All right.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. We're excited to have you here. I think it'll be an interesting one tonight. It's a cool movie. You see what I did there?
I see. I did. God damn it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I love it.
Now, before we continue, get into the meat of it, we're going to do a quick thank you to our patrons, our study buddies. Their generous support keeps us going strong for just $3 a month. If you want to support us in other ways, subscribe, rate, review, comment, share the show, be a friend, tell a friend. You can jump into our Discord channel if you want to talk movies with us. There's links for all that. And Meka G's show, Cinematic Nightmares, in the description for the show. Mm-hmm. Now, with all students present, study buddies avowed, our foreign exchange student, welcome to join us for this special episode. It's time to crack open the goo book and officially begin tonight's meeting.
Give me that goo.
All right, starting with the log line for this one. A bullied boy forms a unique friendship with his new neighbor, a peculiar girl with a dark secret.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Taglines. There's only one that I'm not going to use because I feel like it was a major spoiler for what it is. So on the poster that we all know, it says adapted from the book by Swedish name. So we'll stick with that. Now, speaking of Swedish names, this movie was made by people. The people that made this movie it was directed by Thomas Alfredson and written by John Ajvide Lindqvist, who also wrote the book. So he adapted his own book for the movie, which is always fun. None of these. Normally, we talk about the horror links that the actors or movie makers have in their other films. There's not many of them, and I think most of our audience isn't going to know these or necessarily have access to them anyway, because they're all Swedish. And a lot of them, a lot of the kids haven't done much aside from this movie anyway. So I'm just going to do a quick run through of the cast. I'm going to do the best I can with the pronunciations. Care, C-A with a circle above it, R-E. Hedenbrandt as Oscar. Lena Leanderson as Ellie. Per Ragnar as Hakan, Henrik Dahl as Eric, Karen Bergquist as Yvonne, Peter Karlberg as Laki, Ika Nord as Virginia, Carl Robert Lindgren as Gosta, Cayetano Ruiz as Magister Avila, Patrick Rydmark as Connie, shitty kid, I mean, there's a few, but you know which one I'm talking about. Johan Charles as an Andreas, Mikael Erhardsson as Martin, and Rasmus Luthander as Jimmy, the even shittier older brother of the shitty kid. So that's our main cast. There's some other actors, but you know, I'm only gonna say so many Swedish names, especially for the smaller characters.
Save yourself a little bit. Okay.
Now,
Who is the horror forward?
all right, so what subgenres does Let the Right One fall into? I'd say vampires, obviously.
Absolutely vampire. Oddly enough, kind of like a weird coming of age ish kind of movie to me. You know what I mean? Like slightly.
Yeah.
Like a weird romantic horror?
In a way, yeah.
Yes,
That's there.
yeah,
That's
yes,
absolutely there. A lot of
Yes.
people talk about that. I would say it's a slow burn type of horror as well, or at least, I mean, actually, as quickly as stuff happens, it happens quietly. Maybe would be a better way to put it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that pretty much hit Snow. Snow is kind of a snowy winter movies
Winter
is
horror.
kind of a subgenre people get into.
Yeah.
So I'd say we can, it definitely counts for that.
Mhm.
All right. Do we have any trigger warnings for this one without getting into spoilers yet? Child endangerment, I think we can say.
Yes. There's definitely child endangerment, child death.
Kidnapping?
Yeah.
There's kind of kidnapping. There is I guess there is a slight thing of animal attacks. If you don't like animal attacks, there is a scene in here for that.
Sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
Kitty endangerment or aggravation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we think this movie would please a gore hound? I'm going to say no. I mean, not from the gore, at least. If you're going into this for gore, I think you'd be disappointed.
You'd be disappointed. Yeah, you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, it does have some really gleaming gems in it, but overall, I don't think it's an incredibly gory film. And I think it's going to be, if you're going in it specifically for gore, you're going to be very little lackluster, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Right.
even that's like
Agreed.
quiet, you know?
Quiet.
Sort of a calm gore.
Mhm.
And finally, would you consider this a horror 101 movie or an advanced upper level class?
It technically could probably be a 101 film, but I think dabbling into other vampire films, I think you might get a little more out of it. Because if this is like your first introduction to horror, your first vampire film, it raises some questions about vampires that I feel like you may want to have a little more backing of other films to kind of stew in it, I guess is the best way to put that.
I can see that.
I would have to say that this is probably more on the advanced side because, and the only reason why I say that is because the vampirism isn't thrown directly in your face.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know vampires, then you would understand this movie.
You pick it up on it and you see it
right.
all.
You're going to pick
Absolutely.
it up. Like you're going to be like, oh, there's something about this kid.
Sure.
But it to me, it just felt like more of an advanced.
Yeah, and I think maybe like the presentation and it being a foreign film also might have to do with that. I feel like it could be an intro, but if you know somebody who like maybe is like a film person, I like real films, but you know, I don't like horror because they think that's like below them. You could be like, well, check this out. You might like this type of thing.
You might enjoy this.
Okay. Well, we did it. We can head on over to the spoiler zone.
Spoiler zone.
Starting with our IMDb behind the scenes, I'll run through them as quickly as we can. Of course, if we want to comment on any of it, let's do so. So, several tricks were used to create the right sound effects for some of the gorier scenes. Biting into sausage was used to replicate biting into skin and flesh. Drinking yogurt was used to sound like drinking blood.
Ooh, okay. All right. Okay, fair enough.
And the sound of children blinking was made by rubbing the skin of grapes together in an almost blinking motion.
Oh.
So that'd be like sort of the hypersensitivity that
God, can you imagine being the guy to try to get that correct? Like the Foley artist to be like, listen, you've got these grapes. I just need you to rub them together to make a blink.
Make it sound like blinking.
Yeah, I need
What?
a blinking sound.
Wait,
Okay.
That is kind of interesting though about the yogurt and the sausage, because it's like it's the only word that pops in my head. Anytime that you get a feeding scene, like it sounds sloppy. Like it sounds like gushy. You know what I mean? Like, and then just to have that being the Foley behind it is like, oh, okay, that right. Yeah, that completely makes sense.
Yeah, she seemed like a messy vampire. Like, like how most vampires are just like sink their teeth in and, like she was just like go straight for the jugular and rip it out like every time.
Yes.
Totally. Yeah. They're often like romanticized, vampires and sort of sophisticated. And hers is a bit animalistic for sure. Yeah,
totally. It's a hungry 12-year-old.
Yeah,
it's not carrying like this is very messy eater.
Okay, that makes sense. Now that makes sense.
So this film takes place in 1982. I guess I picked up on the fact that it did, but it wasn't until I read that I was like, oh yeah, I guess. It's not very modern. There's no internet or cell phones or anything. I just thought maybe that was sort of like a foreign thing. This is just how they are in Sweden. But no, it was 1982.
Right.
And the hairstyles. Now that after I read
especially on Oscar.
Right.
Yes. That's straight cut right across the top.
Mom cut them bangs.
Yes. Huge.
Maybe I'm uncultured. I just thought that was that weird European look. How sometimes you'll see people visit and you're like, oh, they're from Europe.
Well, you do raise a really good point, is that like sometimes when you're watching foreign films is that you kind of have this like, for better choice of words, like cultural blindness. Like you don't know if it's a artistic choice or if it is something that is in particular just cultural. It's like it's it's just, most Swedish boys cut their hair like that.
Okay. Voted movie of the year by Empire Magazine. It was the first time it was the second time a foreign language film had topped their list. It was the first time since City of God did in 2003. Pointing that out because City of God is one of my favorite movies. If you haven't seen it, everybody see it. Not a horror movie, but it's a Brazilian true crime, gritty, ballin' ass movie. Brian, we're here. I made him watch it a few times probably. The word vampire is only said once in the film. That's when Oscar asks Ellie if she's a vampire. Otherwise,
like point blank,
not addressed. The title of the film, as well as the novel, refers to the fact that, according to myth, vampires must be invited in. But apparently it was also drawn from a Morrissey song, Let the Right One Slip In.
Oh. Man, that actually kind of makes sense. Like if you're listening to Morrissey and then like watching this movie
has kind of a Morrissey feel, doesn't it?
It definitely has a fucking Morrissey vibe.
Despite being asked twice by Oscar, Ellie never reveals her true age. And then it says here, it's often speculated Ellie is around 300 years old. Almost every scene in the movie contains the color red or orange, which is a reference to blood. And it's, stands out because everything else is pretty white and pale. Another translation for Ellie's first note to Oscar is, to flee is life, to linger is death. Yours, Ellie. Now, that's a bit weird.
Yeah, because in the original, it's a quote from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, right?
I think so.
If I leave and to live, and then
too weird to live, too strange to die.
Stay and die, or something like that. Stay and die. Yeah.
Could be. I didn't know that's what it's from, but that would even speak to her being older. But then, so then is it she's old or is
we're gonna get into it.
No,
we're gonna get into
there. It is one of the top 250 horror films on Letterboxd, as rated by Letterboxd users. In the film's final scene, Oscar and Ellie use Morse code to communicate, tapping on the little box in the train. And the letters they tap out is P-U-S-S, which in Swedish is kiss. Don't get it twisted.
Like little kiss, like a little peck or something like that, yeah.
But to us, it's puss, and I thought that was funny.
What a weird objectively, if you're in the theater watching this and you know Morse code and like the last thing without any like that would just be like the fuck and then just Finn. Like it's just done. And you're like, wait, what?
Is Morse code international, or does it I would imagine it's got to change depending on where you are, because you got certain letters in the alphabet that aren't the same. Something I thought about.
Well, I you threw a curveball at me. I don't know.
Well, so in the movie, he looked it up.
In a
he
book.
Looked up a book. He looked it up in a book, and it didn't show like you said, in Sweden they have different letters than we do in the English language, but he followed what he saw in the book. So
they have some English letters and some new letters, so it's hard to say. Or new to us, I guess. They're like, oh, you don't have that.
So while it may have spelled puss for us, it probably was something.
It was kiss.
Different
It was kiss.
For them.
Yeah. Like I noticed the bathhouse in it. When it's like we get the subtitle bathhouse, it just says bad. I was like, oh, is that how you say bath? Oh, going to go bad. I don't know.
Top notch, Sam.
Thank you. All right. Oh, so there's a brief reference in the film. It's touched on, I guess, a lot more in the book, that Ellie is actually was castrated as a young boy and adopted a female personality.
Yeah.
We see Oscar kind of catch that for a second. And obviously Ellie also says, I'm not a girl a couple times, but
it's that double meaning where it's like
often seems in relationship. Yeah. Like I'm a vampire. Yeah, exactly.
But Ellie's being honest and being like, I'm actually a boy, but I'm also not a,
but not a boy.
Even then, Oscar didn't care.
No,
he was like,
exactly.
She was like, I'm not a. He's like, I'm not. She's like, I'm not a girl. He was like, you still want to go steady?
Yeah, exactly.
You trying to go steady or no?
Just straight up. He's like, yeah, all right. Well, I mean, sure.
Trying to be with me or no?
Very progressive for a young Swede in 1982. And that was a mannequin used for that shot of the castration. Scars. You want to know how I got these scars?
Oh God!
Not really.
Sorry.
Nope. Whole bag of nope on that.
So late in production, it was decided that Lena Lee Anderson's voice would be replaced by a male voice. She was cast because she had an androgynous look to her when she was that age, and they could obviously play that up even more with makeup and styling and everything. But her voice came off as too distinctly female, so they dubbed all her lines with a voice to make it even more androgynous. And that's it. That's all our behind the scenes. We can start getting into it. We're going to jump into the premise. For me, the premise is, what if a lonely bully boy was befriended by another child that was a vampire? It's kind of the premise, right? At least to begin with. Or is it, it's more. What do you...
Yes, he's being bullied. But this child was also one step away from being a psychopath.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of like when we're talking about it's like different levels of this whole thing is about like to me it's just different levels of predators, I guess would be the best way of putting it. You know what I mean? Where it's like you have the bullies, and then you also have Haken as like a murderer, but then you also have Ellie, which is almost like the apex predator of all of these, where like it's an actual physical vampire that murders people. And then you have Oscar, who's drifting into the gray area of becoming a monster like that, and then meeting another monster, like he wants to be a monster, but then actually meets a monster. And then it's the correlation between the two of them and how that relationship evolves. And it's a very weird complex. It's like such a complex, especially when you throw in the idea of like age and like how these characters interact and how these kind of ebb and flow in. It's just such an interesting concept because there's such a great sandbox to play in, where like because this could go so many different ways, especially when you have already albeit like when you get introduced like damaged people. You know what I mean? And then how they react and interact with each other.
Yeah, there's nobody that's that great of a character. I guess Yalki or whatever, they talk about what a great guy he was before he got murked. But
yeah, I mean, apparently that guy was a stand-up dude.
He was a saint, okay?
Yes, he was going to help a kid under a bridge.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a fair point. I guess I kind of even forgot about it. To me, when we first see Oscar and then learn that he's being bullied, he's fantasizing about standing up for himself. But then it is made clear later with Ellie that it's like, actually, he's just fantasizing about killing people.
Yeah. I mean, especially when we get into the pretense of like his journal, which is like photos of knives and every horrible thing that he finds in the newspaper of like murder and death and arson.
But
so
I
he's
feel
got
like
this like
people are
weird
obsessed with
fantasy
true
book.
crime, right? That's common. We all love horror movies. I'm sure to other people that might think we're some sort of psychopaths.
But do you keep a scrapbook full of every traumatic, every murder that ever was committed? Oscar had a scrapbook, and also on top of that, not only just that, he had the knives as well too. Now I'll give him the scrapbook. Because maybe you just want to keep the morbid stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like our love for horror movies,
right?
But it's the fact that you had knives
The
in there,
weapons.
and then and then we're introduced to this kid as he pulls a knife out, and he's like, squeal. I'm like, wait a minute now, are you crazy?
Yeah,
totally. I mean, and you make an amazing point, because Ellie even brings up the whole reason why she started interacting with Oscar was because she felt like a kindred spirit and heard that from him. So like
that was some good vampire hearing. She was still pulling up in the taxi.
Yeah.
She was like, that night when I pulled up in the taxi, I heard everything you said.
I heard everything you said.
I knew at that moment I wanted to be with you.
Yeah. It's like, oh God.
Like, God, I hope that boy has a Rubik's Cube.
Because you have to remember, the first time she physically meets him, he's outside.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
stabbing that pole,
he's stabbing the tree, and she just pops up like, ta-da! Your angel of death is here.
Good point.
Yeah, it's like, oh, hi.
I can't be your friend.
Right. Like, who leads with that? Like, who leads with, I can't be your friend? Then why are you talking to me?
Then what are we doing here? Yeah, like, what is going on?
Why are you here?
Mm-hmm. And why aren't you cold?
Yeah.
She must have been freezing. I wonder what they did for that, like, on set, right? Because that was real snow. They were out in the cold. Poor little girl.
I read somewhere, it must have been obviously it was probably the American remake, but probably sure they probably did the same thing for the Swedish one too, is that they keep like a heated seat up underneath them while they were sitting.
Okay.
So when she was sitting
nice.
down, she was actually sitting in the
On
snow is not real snow.
That makes
it's
sense.
Fake snow.
Yeah.
To make,
movie
so
magic,
then it wouldn't
baby.
melt away.
Yeah, because you're only getting like one or two takes tops if it's real snow and they're just sitting there freezing their asses off.
Right. She didn't have no shoes on.
But even that introductory scene I thought was really interesting when she hops down. Like, it's such an inhuman
Yes, it's
hop down.
It's jarring.
What is that?
Yeah, and you like it. Well, a lot of what she does, shy of the bigger vampiric things that happen, it's in this like uncanny valley, especially if you're putting yourself in Oscar's shoes, where it's like, did I just see that? No, there's no way I just saw that. Like, it's like this weird, could it be possible? Could it not be possible? Like that first jump scene, or the jumping down, I had to like rewatch that when I got the DVD. I was like, oh, that doesn't, that's so unnatural. Like, even that's unnerving.
She floated. Like jump floated. It was weird. It was like a float, but it was still like a downward jump. You know? It's like, did that just happen? Did she just rip it?
What the fuck is that?
All right, so what do we think the premise is? Weird, lonely kid teams up with a strange vampire
Two
girl.
broken souls come together and then
form a bond.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, I would
do
go
we
with
like that concept?
Yeah.
Are we interested in seeing that? Okay.
Yeah, it gets murky, but yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting concept to play with.
Sure. All right, cool. All right, so in case you're listening at this point and you're like, wait a second, it's been a while since I've seen this. What exactly happens? I'm going to do my best to do like a very fast recap for you.
Go for it.
So a young boy named Oscar is living in a Swedish suburb with his mom in an apartment complex. He's got some bullies. He's got some macabre issues of his own. One evening, he meets his neighbor girl, Ellie, who appears to be his age. She lives there with what appears to be her father. Ellie tells them they can't be friends, but they begin to become friends. They share a Rubik's Cube. They start sending encoded message with Morse codes through the walls. Oscar's getting bullied, so he's going to start working out at school after encouragement from Ellie to stand up for himself. Haken, the person who appears to be Ellie's dad, goes out to string somebody upside down and cut their throat open for blood. A little weird, but he gets interrupted by a dog off the leash and leaves the blood there.
Poodles, man.
Yeah. So he goes and tells Ellie she's clearly not happy about this. We still don't really know what's going on yet. She's not happy that he forgot the blood. And she doesn't look like she's doing too well. There's this other character, these sort of barflies that we see throughout start seeing throughout the movie. Lucky's the main one, and he says goodbye to his good friend Jockey, who goes under a bridge, and there's Ellie asking for help. He goes to help this little girl. Bah! Vampire bites his neck, drinks all his blood.
Yogurt slurp.
An old cat man with lots of cats in his house witness this murder. He knows who the guy was, so he goes to tell the barflies about it. Meanwhile, Haken goes with a sled, puts Jockey on it, takes him, dumps him in a river. Now, Oscar and Ellie are becoming more and more friends, and he's like, can we go steady? And that's when Ellie says, I'm not a girl. He's like, I do not care. Let's go steady anyway. Ellie's like, well, what does that mean? It's like, would it change anything about how we're being friends? And he's like, no. And Ellie's like, all right, then.
All right, we go steady.
Yeah.
We're steady.
So now on a field trip, Oscar's getting harassed by his bullies, who he's been harassed by before. This one, he decides to stand up for himself, whacks Connie in the side of the head, making his ear bleed, cracks his head open a little bit. Nothing too severe, but, well, I guess it is a bit bad because I think they say he has to go to the ER. Meanwhile, two other little kids at this field trip find Jockey's body in the river.
So what happens when you pee on the lake?
It's really cool the way it's frozen. Like it's like he froze floating in the water with his legs and arms down underneath and his back up above, and we see a chainsaw cutting out.
He looks like when in Scooby-Doo, when the masked character comes up behind it, does that like, bruh! Like it's that, but frozen with half of his ass coming out of like like the ice.
Yeah. Then also
got stuck mid twerk.
Also, this whole movie looks very nice. It's all in like snow, deep snow. As Hoyt van Hoytema, famous cinematographers, like the movie that got him all the jobs he's had since then. But Ellie's like, Oscar's like, hey, let's become good friends, and he cuts his hand. And he's like, we're gonna mix our blood together. Yuck. But also blood drips on the floor. Ellie can't handle it. Drops on the ground, starts licking it up, gets a little old face for a second, licks up some more, back to looking kind of normal.
All right, so quick pause point. The second we get that juxtaposition of old Ellie versus new Ellie, the first time that happened, when I saw that, I was like, oh, like it was like a guttural, like, oh.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
It goes back, and I was like, did I just see that? Was that a thing? And then when it happened again, I was like, okay, all right, I'm not hallucinating here. That was just fucking super gross. Okay.
This puts her in like the grips of the thirst. She runs up a tree, but she is, she's haunted by the thirst. So first person that comes by, which is Lackey's girlfriend, Virginia. They've been arguing because he's so upset about Jockey that she's like, what, I'm fucking nothing? You don't care about me? Kind of. And
you ain't a saint like Jockey. Get out of my face, woman.
Yeah, exactly. He's not being cool. And then she, but now she gets attacked by Ellie because, again, she needs to satisfy that craving. So more yogurt drinking. And
more
yogurt slurps. And then, but Lockie comes up and just kicks her off of her.
Sponsored by Gogurt.
Nice.
And so now what? Now she survives, but she's starting to get little vampirism things. We're seeing her. She's likes the smell of her blood. She's getting sensitive to sunlight. She feels like she's going crazy. She gets committed to the hospital.
That finger sizzling, the first scene, we were like, oh shit. Oh no.
Sunlight burns her skin. So Lockie's like, oh God, I feel terrible. And he's in the hospital visiting her, but he leaves and she just can't take it anymore. Asks the nurse, the orderly, to open the window. The blinds, goes up in flames. Looks really cool. Now Ellie comes to Oscar's apartment, asks to be invited in, but he doesn't invite her in. He's like, what happens if I don't? And so she does anyway. And this one, blood starts pouring out of her pores and her orifices.
Like, looks like she
literally
got
blood
wound
coming
on
out
her
of her
shoulder
ears,
or something like that.
out the wazoo, so to speak. And he's like, okay, I'm sorry, you can come in.
Is this before or after she kills Haken at the hospital?
Oh, great question. Probably after.
After, yeah.
Okay. Dude, the acid on that guy's face, and then getting to see
I don't have
him
it
in the
my
hospital
notes.
at the aftermath because he can't talk. He's like,
yeah, it's after.
Great nod too, where he can't actively vocally tell her to come in, so he has to stick his own ass neck outside the window for her to fucking attack.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a really nice nod where I'm like, okay,
this guy sucks at obtaining people. Both people he tried to get blood from, he gets caught doing. And he's got to pour the acid on himself because he doesn't want it to get back to her. He's so
he also
like
spilled
dedicated.
half the acid, so he couldn't even kill himself. It's like having one of the Three Stooges being your Renfield and trying to run around. It looks like he just continuously fucks up everything.
Yeah, he's no good.
Also, I have a question.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so you just talked about the part where she asked to be invited in and he was like, nah. But did he invite her in when she came through the window? Remember the first night when she slept in the bed next to him?
Okay, so that actually poses an incredibly good point because
she already been invited in.
Yeah. Is it every time? See, okay, under that logic, because you're 100% right, because like if she has to be continuously invited in every time she leaves and comes back in, couldn't she not get into her own apartment?
Well, but if it's your own, then you're not a guest. You're entering your own place,
your own domicile.
Did he invite her in when she came? Because remember,
I would hope so, based on like the title of the movie and how important it is. Yeah.
No, right after he killed Haken, he does, because he's in bed and he goes, yeah, come in, whatever. And that's when she like comes in through the window. But no, you make a good point, because like obviously at that point I figured the invitation would be a one and done, but it seems like it's a
how about
God, that's got to be
when she walks into the hospital and walks out in the bare feet, and the nurse is like, oh, poor girl, and chases her, and then we see her climbing up the side of the hospital. That's a great little shot there, and it's so brutal the way Haken just falls and smacks like down on the awning on his way down,
and he's still alive. He's still alive. He's like
And I know the book.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but that's literally how it sounds.
No, it is, because it's just because he has like this whole Two-Face thing going on. Half his face is already melted off. He's got his throat slashed out. He just did a fucking 15-story swan dive onto an awning, and then he's still not dead. I was like, man, this guy's got the shittiest luck ever. He can't kill properly. The guy can't even die properly. He sucks.
He sucks. He's no good. It's amazing he got this far.
Although with the backstory, obviously we're kind of going all over the place here. Haken, I don't know the full backstory of Haken, but the stuff I read into
book,
was that
different. The book is much different than what I read into for the character in the movie. Go ahead with what you're going to say.
Yeah. Because no, apparently Haken had only known Ellie for a little while on this, where he's supposed to be like a pedophile or something like that, or something close to that.
But you're talking about book stuff. Yeah. To the movie, it implied to me that what I thought was that he was basically the last Oscar and has been with her since he was a kid and grew up like this, because he seems to really care about her. He sacrifices himself for her so she doesn't get caught. Love with her. Yeah, he won't. He's like, please don't visit that other boy again. Like, and
she touched his cheek like, you can't tell me what to do.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
I'm so sorry. You're old now.
The power dynamics that are going on in this movie are fucking wild. Because you're right. Because this is where like it's like, why are you telling me what to do? Like that's not how this works.
I'm
right. She's like, oh, darling.
Yeah. Oh, darling. Yeah, like, oh, that's cute that you're asking me. Okay, bye.
So I totally accidentally skipped over that, but I'm going to try and wrap this up real quick. The recap. Oh, so she's bleeding out the wazoo, admits to being a vampire. She needs to drink human blood to survive, but isn't dead. Says, hey, we're like, I heard you wanted to kill people. Then Ellie is changing clothes. That's when Oscar catches the look of the scarred genitals or lack thereof. Now Ellie's like sleeping in the bathroom, says, please don't come in there. Then Lackey comes and finds her in the tub and is going to take her out. But Oscar's sort of watching over and is like, no. But that wakes up Ellie. She takes care of it. And she's like, listen, I got to hide out for a little while. So he gets a phone call that, hey, Mr. Avila wants to come to the pool for aerobics. This is Martin. You did the right thing standing up for yourself against Connie. But it's all an elaborate ruse to get him to the pool by the sick, twisted older brother who's going to hold him underwater for 3 minutes. If he has to come up, he's going to poke out his eye. Which... that to me was as one of the most memorable shots of the movie, is just that underwater shot.
Him underwater.
Yeah. But Ellie comes to the rescue, dismembers and kills most of the kids except for the one who was crying on the bench because he didn't want to be doing this. And now Oscar and Ellie are leaving by train together, tapping little kiss Morse code. End of movie. Yep. Okay.
So the kid that cried, the first time he cried was when the bully was like, hit him with that stick.
Oh yeah, he has that like weird like switch kind of like stick thing, and then hitting him, but then like crying while he's going on, where you're like, oh my god, this kid is also kind of being bullied, but in a completely different prismatic aspect, where it's like, okay, you're part of the group, but you got to be part of the fucking group.
And she let him go, and all I could think about was like Nuremberg defense, Nazis. Just following orders is not an excuse.
Right. You're going to jail, you know that.
Although he is obviously though, when it's like a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old, whatever it is, there's more leeway than with an adult. But that was what I thought.
He was just like, I respected Ellie for leaving him because she realized that he wasn't part of the problem.
Right.
She and and I think Oscar realized that too, because when he was being hit with the stick, he could hear the kid crying. And so he didn't react, and also because he's one
psycho
away from becoming a psycho.
It kind of showed a little bit of those sociopathic tendencies where he's getting like just his ass whooped and he's just like not even saying that, especially the face laceration, and he does that weird turn and they just looks, you're like, and
the boys realize like he might be insane.
Yeah, it might be fucking nuts.
Let's go. Yeah. Bring your crybaby behind.
Okay, so that's the movie. We always like to talk about the opening of the movie because often, openings are usually strong. They're supposed to draw you in. The opening of this is essentially snow flurries. We hear Oscar fantasizing the squeal pig. He's very vulnerable, I would say, at the time. He might be in his underwear. He's definitely not wearing a shirt, and we see him reflected through a window. And he's got this new neighbor girl and dad that apparently show up. And that's basically the opening.
I think it creates a great playground, like the initial character setup, including, and Meka G actually brought this up before recording, was like the snow and the lighting and how that aspect illuminates. Like the winter is almost its own character in this story. So you kind of get this like harsh black background, and then everything else is so illuminated that like you can see all the snowflakes. You can see it's this harsh downward lighting towards all of the snow. And you kind of have this like this Morrissey mood is set in like the first like few minutes of this film,
Yeah, I would say it certainly sets the movie tonally as to what it's going to feel like. I don't know if I'm necessarily gripped story-wise by anything that's going on yet, but I know the vibe I'm stepping into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially that shot with Oscar where he's like in the mirror or in the window. So it's like this weird blurry, like you're seeing through him. And it's almost kind of like how he sees himself. You know what I mean? Where it's just like you're getting this like weird loose. It's, I don't know, ghostly.
He's not quite there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's accurate. So, well, we're already talking about it. Let's go ahead and jump into the technical execution of the movie, filmmaking, music, cinematography, camera work. Did anything particularly stand out to you about the filmmaking on this one?
I mentioned this before we had started recording, is that when we first meet Ellie, the lighting behind her is a little bit darker because I feel like at that time Oscar was in a dark place, but then every scene after that it was a little bit bright. Like it almost was like she brought this light
into
to him.
His world,
and right, and then also if you notice, like all of Ellie's scenes where she attacks people, it's mostly in the dark until she's
like under the bridge.
Until she's under the bridge. Yeah, under the bridge it was in the dark, and then she comes out on the other side. And like mentioned before, the snow, it's almost like they took the lights and was just like illuminate the snow.
Yeah.
Because when the scene with the poodle damn near blends in with the snow. You can barely see the dog.
Yes.
You can see it, but just like it's not like so blinding that you just don't know that that's a dog. Is that even the poodle's fur was like extra bright?
Yeah.
And it's almost like they were like casting a spotlight on. We want you to pay attention to this scene. We want you to watch what he's about to do. Here's a spotlight on it.
Right.
And the snow just illuminated even more.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. It creates this. It's also such beautiful too how they light it, because when you have like any blood scenes, it's such a stark juxtaposition against the actual white snow that like that throat slitting scene with the blood spilling everywhere to me felt more intense than what I was watching, just because of how bright and how like just red was, but not getting like, Giallo 70s paint red, but like this still looked like blood, but you're like, oh my God, this is just like, ugh.
It's almost like I want you to see the carnage that's getting ready to take place.
Yes.
But
very much so.
Contrast when he's in the gym and he's about to take out the young man, the lights go out.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And he's like, what the fuck?
Because we're immersed in it, and we already know what's about to happen, and then the lights go out, and it's like, to me, that's the signal to let you know you about to be caught.
Yes,
your time is now up.
Him fumbling with the flashlight, it was just like, oh fuck, oh shit, okay, wait, hold on, let me just, all right.
He's terrible. Yeah.
The fact that he still tried to do it even after. Like somebody showed up at the window. As soon as you saw that shadow, you should have got your behind up out of there. like
Yeah.
left everything behind and
He
fleed.
just bounced. Yeah.
Like he did the first time.
But-
He knew to go, like, and not try and hang out or make it work.
And this is before the other person even made it to the door.
Mm-hmm.
The person showed up in the window, and he had more than enough time to get up out of there. But he was like, "No, you know what? I'm just gonna take this acid to the face."
Yeah, that was a great shot, though. The framing of it, how one side is that door, and then it's like sort of the dark hallway, and then him lit up in another room. And when he pours it, there's a lot of shots like that. They wanted us to
see it.
Yeah,
they want us to see the carnage that was getting ready to happen, even though we didn't really get to see what.
Right,
we just saw
the
him
aftermath.
dump acid on his face.
And it does help too, like you're saying, like the color palette too is like it's so bleak and like beige and these weird like offset, like you're talking about the orange and reds, but like there's also like these weird like soup green like wallpaper covers. So when you get blood and gore, it stands out so much more on those color palettes than anything else.
Yeah, and to me, the cinematography is what really does it. It's no wonder Hoyt van Hoytema has become like, Chris Nolan's go-to guy, and he did Nope as well. And there's even that character, the cinematographer character in Nope, I think is kind of based on him in a way. And like the extremes he'll go to for getting shots. But the way a lot of it's framed, everything is so like geometrical a lot of the times. There's all these like different squares and rectangles around, and people like divided by shapes. And then I feel like a lot of the shots, not all of them, but a lot of the shots, I feel like it's as if you were standing somewhere nearby these things happening and just standing there and watching it. Like it really gives you the perspective of if you were at a park watching this happen, kind of thing.
Yeah, especially the park scene, because it felt, because we were so far back, you know, to the point where we were watching. I mean, we were able to see this guy from his feet to his head hanging upside down, and that's not normally that doesn't happen in horror movies.
Yeah.
Like you normally see like maybe from like the waist, or if they're upside down, from the waist down, and then you see their face, right? So yeah, I got that vibe too. And it even was like that even when the bridge scene.
Yes.
Right,
exactly.
It creates this like
that switch scene, the bullying scene as well. When he's getting hit with a stick, like it's like you were just in the parking lot and watched these kids like follow this other kid out.
It's almost like we were the teachers and we was like, let's see what he gonna do with this stick.
Yeah, it's like
that's how I felt. I was like, if I was a teacher, I'd be like, yeah, I know they be bullying him. I'm about to see what he's about to do.
Yes, of course it happened. It is. It creates, because I feel like you're also just getting swallowed up by winter and the cold and all this stuff. And it's like such an active participant in everything that's going on top of these like mid to really back shots where like you feel like you're a voyeur. I felt half the movie when I'm watching that shit that I was the dude with the cat in the apartment.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, oh shit.
And I think
you was holding the cat like, we should call somebody.
Is that Jock?
Is that Jock?
That look like Jock right now.
Oh my god.
I think swallowed up by the winter is a great way to put it too, because not only does it have that sort of feeling, but when they go back to see, like, I swear I saw him killed here, his blood's already, there's no trace of it. They have to like wipe the snow away to find it, and even then the snow is like absorbed it, so you're just picking up red snow. It's an interesting one. Now, that being said, was there anything about the filmmaking that broke your immersion, that made you go, oh, like that doesn't look too great? I mean, I'll say I didn't notice it the first time I saw this. This was only my second watch, but cats looked a bit CGI during the cat attack scene.
Yeah. Yes, I will give you that the cats looked a little CGI, but I think like what they were doing and how it happened.
I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, how do you train that many cats to attack somebody? You can't. You just can't.
Yeah. Like,
go,
there's
Fluffy.
no amount. There's no amount
Get on
of
my face. I'm not doing
there's
that.
no amount of catnip and like liver puree that you could smear on a stuntman to like make that actually happen in real life. No, I think it's not even. It's honestly, I think it's a benefit to the film is that because you're so grounded and in just I don't know if it's how it's shot or just how they're dressed, where like everything feels. To me, everything kind of felt vintage, where it's like everybody had the 80s aesthetic going on. Everything looks so when Ellie does her vampiric like scaling the building or like jumping around, skittering up a tree, things around those lines. Like if it was shot differently, it would be like, oh, that's crazy. It felt impossible. Like as in like everything that she's doing is so more dynamic because everything else is so rooted in such a gritty, almost true crime realism that when you have these crazy scenes, you're just like it just I don't know, it hit different. Where like I felt like obviously I'm watching a vampire movie, but it didn't feel like a vampire movie. It felt like this weird, almost true crimey kind of thing, and then with these like, crazy kind of like pops, you know.
Yeah. It gave her an otherworldly feeling.
Yeah, I have to agree. Like, this doesn't feel like your typical vampire movie until you start seeing her do things like climb up the wall. And you're like, okay, Spider-Man.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
Right. So, I mean, I feel like the CGI usage was just enough. Now, as far as the cats, that was a bit much. That was a bit much.
It was a little much. Yeah.
It's a bit much. So, but everything that the CGI, as far as like with Ellie, everything that she did, I already knew she was a vampire, but I expected it. I expected when we were just talking about her jumping down. I'm pretty sure they slowed that down. So she looked like she kind of floated and just landed. And then she landed perfectly. And I was like, you didn't say like, what the thing I would have said? Like,
yeah.
Right.
I think it's such a cool thing too, because like in a contemporary vampire film, I think they try to do all the bells and whistles to like we're like, hey, this is a vampire. Like I know it's supposed to be a person, but this is a vampire. And I think what's cool about this one, like again, the pool scene is a great example of this, is that like a lot of the vampire weird shit happens off screen, like when she jumps from window to window or scales things. So like you have no idea how she's doing this. You're like, I flew. And you're like, what? Did you not? And then like even like the part that you would think would be this utter bloodbath of a crazy final scene is just an underwater scene, but it's fantastic because you see like
feet
the
kicking, moving backwards.
Yes. And then like the head drop, like a lot of this shit happens off screen, which is so opposite of how a lot of other directors and a lot of other presenters of vampire films present vampires, where they want you to know, they want you to get in, like you're saying before, where it's like the tight shots where it'd be the hip down so you see the throat getting slashed and other things like that. Like this is so subtle in its thing, like it almost makes it more plausible to me, where I'm like, I'm getting in that gray area where I'm like, this is fucking okay, all right, I'm locked in.
Right. Yeah. Because we don't even like, even with the stick scene, like remember when he hit I laughed.
When he hits Connie? When Oscar hits the other kid?
When he swung back and he was like,
oh yeah.
I was like, oh, wait a minute. And then he kind of like grabbed his ear and then he starts screaming. I was like, any other director would have shown us Oscar just taking the stick and knocking the hell out of that bully.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But they didn't show it. I mean, they showed it, but they would have showed like the stick connecting with his ear and like then the
splitting it or something.
It was a ski stick that he hit him with, so they would have shown it like splitting his ear open, and we would have saw all that. But they was like, no, you gonna see this blood as this boy is screaming for his mom.
Yeah, it's that quiet core.
Quiet. It's it again. The subgenre
calm
of
violence.
Quiet. Yeah, calm violence.
And it was crazy how the teacher was just looking at him like
what?
He was waiting to see what was going to happen.
She was like, "Are you gonna hit me with the sticks?"
Yeah, that was really funny because like it's almost the adults going, "Let's see how this plays out."
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Then the screaming starts at the same time, right?
Yeah.
For the body.
The hit happens and like that, literally within like 2 seconds, they discover the body.
Because the one teacher ran over and she ran over to help and was like looking at Oscar like, what? What did you do? And the other teacher was like, he was over. I think he knew it was getting ready to happen. Because he was just too calm and collective over there on the other side. He was just like, what's going on? Oh, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, they're screaming over there.
Yes.
He had to be aware of the bullying.
It's always the gym teacher who's like, okay, well, if this guy wants to start lifting weights and stuff, like I feel almost, and I could be completely wrong, is that like the gym teacher is probably one of the only
adults
that Oscar interacts with that is like a little more of like a positive force and is less predatory, I guess would be the best way of putting it.
Sure, but he seems like he is just doing his job. You know what I mean? Like he does not seem to care about him. He's like, oh, you want to do that? Sure, we'll do that. But not like
he was reading a newspaper while Oscar was struggling with 5 pounds.
That's so true.
That did remind me how weak kids are.
Oscar almost died on the weight bench.
Yep.
He did.
Well,
crush windpipe, just movie ends.
Speaking of Oscar and the gym teacher and things, it's perfect time to segue into our characters in the movie, our little character studies. How did we feel about our cast? Did they feel like real people? Was it a bunch of walking horror tropes? I mean, I would definitely say this movie is not walking horror tropes, but what did we, anybody in the cast, did anybody stand out? Anybody you liked a lot? I know we've already talked about some weird dynamics. We could get into those here probably.
Yeah. It's Oscar is such an odd character in the fact, like, obviously he's our dude, like he's our main character. Obviously we're following a lot of things going through, but he also is like, we're getting this character like halfway through the book, as in like we're kind of like his parents are separated. We kind of like get that offhandedly through like dialogue and things like that. Mm-hmm. He's getting bullied persistently, but then he also has these like idealizations of like violence, and like he just wants to attack, like, and for any kid who's been bullied, I mean, obviously that's the fantasy of just like getting back at your bullies, but like this is almost to like a completely different, like such a violent extreme with him playing with knives and like his scrapbook and things around those lines. They're all weird. You know what I mean? Like every character in here is weird in their own right. Even the dad, honestly, like the first interaction you have with the dad is like a little more straightforward. Like he's hanging out, they're playing outside, they're doing things, they're like really interacting. It seems like this really good bonding moment between father and son. But then you have the second interaction, which is like random guy with no shoes or like sandals or something like that.
Sandals
shows
and
up,
socks.
Yeah, sandals and socks, and then like the dad just consistently drinks and looks more depressed. And then the guy sitting there is just staring and smiling at Oscar in the most unnerving way possible, where you're just like, oh God, like no one in Oscar's life, shy of maybe his mom, is like, everything is hostile. Everything feels weird.
I will say like, his mom does seem to care, but also seems to be one of those like, single mom working all the time, can't really be there, wants to watch out for him, but
he's like a latchkey kid.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And mom was also, after the whole incident, she was like, they're going to blame us. They're going to blame us because his dad isn't here. Because, dad lived in a whole nother city.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was more concerned about
appearances, what
people were going to think about the two of them raising him, right? So then he gets on the phone with dad, and trust me, I've been in mom's position before. You better talk to him before I get to him.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
And she hands him the phone, and Oscar's just talking to him, and it's almost as if his dad never mentioned anything about what happened with the bully. He's like, oh yeah, because Oscar's like, oh, are the bikes fixed?
Yeah.
Changing the subject.
And he changed the subject on him.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can tell the dad's first question was like, so how are you doing? Like,
he was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm well. Are the bikes fixed? And mom's sitting over there like, are you serious right now?
Mm-hmm. I'm the only one that's going to do the parenting.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very, it's an odd cast, but it works very well with this because none of these characters seem outlandishly, the hero character outlandishly like an unbelievable villain, I guess would be the best way. Like the kids, even the older brother
kind of is. That's pretty like that is true psychopath character.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because who hears about their brother getting their ears split and be like, you know what? I'm gonna drown the kid that did it.
I'm gonna kill this fucking kid.
I'm gonna kill the kid that did it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly, even Connie is
all the time you go and beat him up.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it gives you perspective to Connie being a bully too, because who knows what his brother's doing to him at home.
That's so true. Well, again, it's different. It's different levels of predators where it's like you have Connie and you think he's the bad at a certain point, but then you meet his brother and realize, oh, okay, so there's levels to this where like Connie's bad, but his older brother is fucking way worse than this, and like he's just feels this is like acceptable behavior to do this. Oh, well, just like roping people in, where it's like every character, a lot of people that Oscar interacts with are predators in some which way, shape, or form, whether it be like, you know what I mean, bullies or, actual like fucking an actual murdering vampire or things around those lines. And like the interactions between them is either between sympathy or, half the time, like when Oscar's interacting, shy of standing up for himself in private, it's very like submissive,
yes.
I guess would be the best way of putting that, and having to just deal with these traumas and torments.
Yeah,
but
agreed.
So, okay, I have to ask because obviously Ellie is our vampire, and do you think that so obviously I'm basing this off of other literature, other movies, things around those lines, is that do you think Ellie physically obviously is 12 years old? Do you think Ellie has the mentality of a 12-year-old, or do you think this is like the mind of a few 100-year-old creature in a 12-year-old's body? Because like it's like a weird, like because it completely changes the dynamic of Ellie and Oscar's relationship, and the story in general. Because like to me, if Ellie is mentally as old as she is as a vampire, then she is just continuously grooming young boys.
I was just getting ready to say that. I literally was getting ready to say that. I said, it was in the scene when he was like, I don't want you to go outside and beat that little boy. And she was like, oh, sweetie.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know I'm going to replace you, right?
Exactly. Yes. That's what I got.
I'm going to leave you.
My first watch, I didn't see it that way. I kind of saw it more of this fucked up but sweeter story of these kids like bonding or whatever. But
which is a lot of what the book implies too.
Knowing everything on a second watch, changes things. So the dynamic with that sort of familiar character and thinking and exactly what you said about the oh sweetie with the cheek touch and thinking, oh, this guy must have been around since he was a kid and this is like the new model, and how she tells them like that a lot of their first interactions of like, I can't be friends with you, I can't go steady with you, I can't do this with you, you need to stand up for yourself, actually seemed initially more from a maternal place, and then as it got farther, then it kind of changed, and I couldn't tell if that was because of the way Oscar was responding to everything or because of who Oscar was turning out to be. But it certainly leaves that and becomes more romanticized as they go on.
Yeah. Well, it's a weird one because like it was funny. My wife and I were talking about this in the fact of like, if it's the mentality of a 12-year-old,
still weird.
A 12-year-old it's still weird, but a 12-year-old will try to do things independently, but still would want some kind of parental or some kind of figure there. You know what I mean? As in like do shit, but like I kind of want my mom or my dad. And then obviously if this thing is hundreds of years old, they have to cycle through paternal and maternal figures, I guess would be the best way of putting that. But if the mentality is hundreds of years old, then it's like partners. And then like you see the props of all the rings in the apartment, and that could be very construed as in these were my past partners, and these are just totems of just the continuous cycle of me having to find another caretaker. And then like I was also thinking about it too, where like Ellie gives off the I need help, or like please help me, I'm defenseless, I need someone to help me, like where Haken is getting blood and doing things because she's like I have to do this myself. And then like you kind of see her fuck it up, you know what I mean? Obviously she kills the first one, but the second attack is like someone kicks her off and all this other kind of stuff, where I'm like, oh, maybe she does, because of her because of Ellie's size and how she is, like maybe she does need assistance in feeding and stuff like that. But then you get to the pool and she mercilessly murders fucking 3 people in 30 seconds. And you realize, like, is this just another manipulation
and tears
tactic?
them apart? Well, to me, it was to keep a separation where if something, so that she can't get caught. If somebody else does it, then she can't get in trouble for it. That's kind of how I saw it, which is why because he loved her so much, he poured the thing on it. That way she wouldn't get pinned for it. He even says something about like, maybe even just says her name before he pours it on himself. Like, it's just a layer of protection.
For sure. It's like needing a Renfield, needing a lackey to do things just in case if shit goes south, it's not going to lay on you.
Right. I would like to think that she is just a 12-year-old because it makes the movie more palatable and more enjoyable. But I just didn't read it that way on this watch. And it made me be like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this anymore.
Oh no, she totally manipulated. Like she had Oscar, like we talked about different type of predators. She had him locked in night 1.
Yeah. You heard what we said.
She already knew from jump that Oscar was going to be it, that he was going to be her next person in line. Now, let's talk about how Haken had to do what he had to do to get her blood. Which also plays into Oscar playing with knives.
Yeah.
And she said, be like me for a while.
Yeah.
There's a play on words. Be like me. I need you to go out there and go and get me my blood.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. And especially with Haken failing continuously and having like, because I mean, even his kill kit and how he has set these things up leads you to believe he's been doing this for a minute and he has a system, and now he's just getting too old to actually accomplish said system. And Ellie knows that. And then, like you said, with the knife play, it's like, oh, I've just found, like, organically just found, now, albeit if they form a friendship or a kinship or things around those lines, but like the initial dive, she admits is like, you said this and this is what drew me in. Like that darkness in you is what I was attracted to. And that's what that's what brought me in.
Yeah.
Let me in, if you will. I will say, I do really like the character of Lackey. I'm not sure how to say it. Our main drunk guy. I mean, he's shitty to Virginia for a minute, but there is something about him that is just like, he seems like, maybe because he seems like the only kind of ordinary person I've like kind of know in real life. I think there's something about the actor. Whoa. That's got like,
you made a new word.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I felt like he, I don't know, just had a sort of charm to him.
Mm-hmm.
Did the movie fool you? I mean, I know we probably, Meka G, you've seen this before.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. I assume so when you were like, oh, I want to do that one. But so pretend it was our first time. Did anything fool us? Did we not see anything coming the first time we saw it? Obviously, this round we knew what was going to happen. But do you remember being surprised by anything?
I think I was most surprised by like in knowing that Ellie was replacing Haken. And that was like I was like because he realized he messed up because he kept messing up, and so she was like, I don't need you.
My boy's getting senile.
Yeah.
Right. Like she was like, you're old. You're old.
Little Leonardo DiCaprio.
Go. Right. She totally Titanic this man.
It's so true. Yeah, it's like, and Ellie is so like not sociopathic, but it's like it's like the subtlety. Like I forgot what cold is, and like there's such a lack of certain emotional basis where like it seems very analytical. Where like, and then when you realize, like you said, when the cogs start going and you start realizing that like Oscar's the replacement. Haken is now kind of like, obviously he's taking himself out. Like he had his own suicide kit if he got caught with the acid. You know what I mean? So like he already knew he was on his way out. And unfortunately he spilled the acid, so he couldn't even kill himself correctly. So it's like everything's in lieu for Ellie.
If that's what it was for initially, I would have had a better suicide plan than a jar of acid myself. But
well, I think he
could have drank the acid. And it would have went quicker.
I think what he was trying to do, because they bring it up in like super like blurby on the news report when Ellie hears about his arrest or hospitalization, is that he melted his face so bad that he couldn't be recognized. And I think it was his failsafe that like it couldn't be led back to Ellie if he got caught, was that he was just going to like acid bath.
Got it.
And then like he would take because 82, like it would take a minute to figure out who he was. So at least gave her like a head start.
It's 82.
I hate to say it, but the first time I watched it, I thought it was just a like sweet story of fucked up kids. It wasn't until this watch that I was like, oh no, Ellie's like a monster, like a real monster, not like
well, it's having that optimism, because it's like when we watch this, because what was this? What year did this movie come out?
2008.
Okay, so it's like
nearly 20 years old.
20 years old. So like as a Jesus Christ, it's like a 20-year-old or initially watching this, where it's like you have the optimism, like, oh wow, like on the surface level when you're watching it, it's like, oh, these like this bond is happening, and this like something maybe more than a bond, and it's like this kid kind of getting out of his shell and things. But then like now we're adults and we watch this, and we like from the perspective of like the adults versus like the kind of the borderline, the gray area,
watching
kids,
with
like,
an
oh,
adult
no,
brain thing, a grown brain. Yeah,
are you kidding me? I'm a parent of two, where I'm looking at this shit going like, oh my God, like the first sign of like, barefooted Ellie going out. Like if I was mom, I was like, you
can't hang out with that weirdo anymore.
No,
right. Or actually, the parent in me, I'd be like, where are her parents? Like, we're going to get her shoes. We're going to get her a jacket. Like,
yes,
this is a problem.
Right. And I think that's what the nurse was getting ready to do when she came out. And she was like, she was like, I'm going to help this kid that is clearly, she has no shoes on. Like, and it's snowing outside. So
this is Sweden. That's a problem.
Right. That's a problem. So yeah, if I had been like Oscar's mom, I probably would have been out the window like, oh, that little baby ain't got no shoes on. To her mother.
At any point when you all were watching this, did you think, so people just live in places like this, huh? It truly is just so foreign to me. Not only just being foreign country, foreign language, all that, but just the like living in that kind of weather.
I'll let you know this winter living in Ottawa now with negative 20 out. It is. Well, it's just, again, I think it's like a foreign landscape, because at a certain point, especially like how we keep on reiterating how it's shot, how it's the lighting of it. It's like, it's almost like the landscape is almost alien in and of itself, because it is so barren and it is so white and it is just encompassing everything that like, it adds this completely different aspect. Because if this movie was done in summer, like it would be such a different fucking movie,
completely different movie. Yeah. Okay, before we move on to some of our other questions and things, are there any standout scenes that we haven't discussed that you want to touch on before we move along?
Hell yeah, cat attack.
Please.
That one was covered in cats. That was fun. Like the first time I saw that, like I literally was like, I was doing the ooh, whoa. Like just getting mauled by that many cats is just
That's a lot of
I've been
cats.
attacked by one cat and it was terrifying. That was a lot of cats. And
I mean,
also,
the only time I've ever seen that was like Sleepwalkers.
yes. Oh my God. Yes.
I was gonna say Batman Returns.
That too.
God, I haven't watched Sleepwalkers in so long. That fucking movie. I think it was the insult into injury too. Like she gets mauled by cats and then she hits the stairs and just eats shit falling down the stairs too. Where I'm just like, oh, this was
good way to get
up.
rid of the cats on you, though.
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
That's what they say. If you're covered in cats, roll down some stairs. Stop,
Roll
drop,
down the
and roll
stairs.
down the stairs.
I think the other close second for me is Haken's death scene, because you really get to see how gnarly the acid had
when he's
eaten
on the
into
ground?
his face. Because I think it's to me it's the goriest scene of the film, without it actually really being super gory.
Right.
Where you're just
Not
like
bloody,
oh,
but
fuck,
it's
dude,
body horror,
and just
type.
even in that much pain and fucked up that badly, he still sacrificed himself to Ellie. Like to me, it's like that weird, like God, that is
Sorry, I couldn't get your food. Eat me.
Eat me. Well, it's just like this, but it goes into this like grooming pet where it's like that's such almost blind obedience, where it's like I am even at my own life, I'm laying on the line for you. It's like a completely different form of dedication that is just, again, almost alien. Because, like, I mean, God, that's like, you read that fucking like Shakespeare and shit. Like, you don't like, at what point are you getting like a dude who's going to melt half of his face off and then, get his neck ripped into
if you've
yogurt
been groomed since
childhood,
childhood,
that's true.
Which is my read in this movie.
Hesitate.
I understand the book that character is different, but for me in this movie, that's how it plays.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. She didn't even try to stop him. She was like, no, don't do that.
No, she's like, I'll take that.
She's like, you know what?
Yeah.
That's right,
Do
baby.
what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Feed mama.
All right. Well, speaking of feeding and gore, it's time to go ahead and, we're about to talk about the gore and go to a gore meter. Before that, were there any scares or tension building scenes in this movie that worked for you, or not really hit in that type of way?
I have to say her eyes, she's bleeding from her eyes and all the orifices on her face. Like, when she wasn't invited in, like, wasn't expecting that. Like, I did not expect that to happen. Like, I mean, if you watch vampire movies in the past, like, you never really see, they never step in anyway.
They can't get in.
So,
it's like an invisible force field or something usually.
The only time I've ever seen blood come from eyes is True Blood. When vampires actually cry, which is weird, but but not it, because the blood is not only coming from her eyes, it's also coming from her ears and it's coming off of her shoulders,
scalp and stuff.
It's bleeding. She's bleeding from her forehead, and you're like, dude, please just say that she can come in, because this looks painful at this point.
Yeah, that was like our reaction was Oscar's reaction. He was like, "Oh fuck, oh shit, yeah, no,
come in."
Say she can come in. Shut up.
Yeah.
It's fine, it's good.
For me, it would be the unsettling stuff we've already touched on, like her little jump down, her skitter up the tree, or skitter up the hospital, any of those inhuman things. And the one we haven't touched on that I really like is when Oscar brings her into the dark basement before he cuts his hand, before he turns on the lights, her eyes are open big and they have that reflective night thing that like animals will have, where their cones reflect in the pupils. And we just get that for a second. Light flicks on, her pupils dilate, all back to normal. But I thought that was a nice little unsettling moment.
Yeah,
there was another scene where her eyes changed as well too, when she was sitting and she got hungry. and
And they
her eyes
yeah.
got real big, like grayish, like real big and gray. And she was kind of just like
consumed by the thirst,
holding her stomach. Yeah, because she was so hungry. And I was like, oh,
Oh, damn. Oh,
yeah, baby,
actually, you know
need
what?
food.
it hurts being
Actually,
dead.
one that did. It hurts big time. No, the one that actually on it, because we talked about it before, from young to old Ellie, those weird cut scenes, because it happens twice. Both times it happened, it was immediately like, all right, oh no, all right.
Yeah, twice is enough. You don't want to overdo it either. It'll lose its effect.
No.
I think we should have just got it one more time when she was at the pool so that we could be like, yeah.
Yeah. It would have been cool to see the opposite aspect of that, or even like, I mean, I guess it's 82, but God, even if like even knocking on the door of found footage, having like a security camera or something like that show part of like massacre up top would have been like, I do like the fact that they don't show anything, but like, God, give me a little bit of blood ice.
Blood
I want her to
eyes.
just like come in with all the rage and just be like, all you hear is a guttural roar, and then you just like, go, Ellie, do it.
Yeah, get up.
Do the thing.
Fatality.
All right, this is part of the show where we rate the gore in a movie, figure out how nasty it gets. Overall scale to 1 to 10, but we do intensity 1 to 5 and then consistency 1 to 5. We add those together for the overall gore score. Starting with intensity, I don't feel the gore in this movie is particularly intense. I think the worst things are the bloody girl walking in the thing and the melty face man. Beyond that,
yeah, I mean, like, even when you have the guy whose heads gets turned the opposite direction and things like that, it's so far back.
It's like you're watching from across
we
the way.
see it clear as day that he turns the head all the way around, but it's not zoomed in.
Right.
You know what I mean? As in, like, you
meant.
see it happen, but it's not. It's I mean, I
and
would
the head
maybe
falling
give,
in the pool, arm dismemberment.
Yeah, which is also
And
fun. But
the
it's
lady
like,
going up in flames.
yeah, ooh, that
looked
looks really good too.
That had a really nice look to it, I must say.
It really did. I don't know. I mean, I'd maybe give the intensity maybe like a 2 out of 5, as in, like, you do get 1 or 2 kind of intense scenes, but like overall, because of how the film is shot, it's a lot more it's a lot more silent, as you would say. It's silent gore.
Calm.
Yeah, calm, a nice
It's
Swedish
that how
calm
that
gore.
snow mutes everything, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
I have to give it a 2 as well too.
Yeah, I agree. Consistency. How often does gore appear throughout the film? Let's see here. We get that. I mean, that neck bleeding is right away. And then I feel like probably 10 to 20 minutes, we get little flashes of things. But again, it's because the intensity is down, it might not feel like it's that consistent. But I think consistency
it's almost
is pretty
like
good.
Instead of snow blindness, it's gore blindness, where it's like, even if it happens consistently, it's so silent that I'm like, I don't know.
I would do a 2.5.
And it happens so quickly too. Like, it's not like,
it's true. Yeah.
it's not like we're just hanging out with it. You know, even the scene when he is draining the dude, you know what I'm saying?
It's a matter of fact.
Yeah, you don't get to see it actually coming from the wound. You just know that it's filling up the bucket, and that's all you get. That's all you hear.
Yeah, we see a little blood, and you hear it more than you see it for sure.
Right.
No, I think I agree with you, Sam. I think probably like right down the middle, like 2.5. I mean, even though technically, I guess it would be pretty consistently throughout the film, the way that it's presented is way less, and kind of like
well, it's consistent, but like I said,
it's in blips. You know what I mean?
I'm good with 2.5.
Me too.
All right. We all agreed on everyone. That doesn't happen much on the Gorometer. And that gives it a 4.5 out of 10, which honestly may even feel a little high, but I think is also right. You know, it's just, it's under half. Like, I think if gore bothered you, you could pretty easily watch this movie.
Oh, for sure. But like you were saying, like, we've got, like, you know, the bed incineration, the acid face, you know, and a few different decapitations.
Blood out the wazoo, walking in.
And don't forget about the cat attack.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
All right. And then we always like to ask this afterwards. do you think the gore level worked for the movie, or do you think it should be gorier? I want to start with Ross because he almost always says gorier, but I feel like he won't on this one. What's he gonna say?
No, I don't. What will I say? No, I agree. You nailed it on the head. I don't think it needs to be gory. It obviously can be gorier, but I think the mood and the tone of this film, the gore works out perfectly because I think it's so semi-set in this realism that like if it was too fantastique, if it was too much, I feel like we would get pulled out of like the groundness of this film. What we get is good. It's a little less, I mean, like you said, it's mid shots. It's not tight, close shots of this stuff, shy of like acid face, basically. But like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think it would be too much, especially for how subtle everything else is. You know what I mean? Like it would, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Hey, look at that. Look at us.
But the reason why I agree is because this is not an in-your-face vampire movie, because we've all said that first time watch we thought this was about two kids figuring life out, coming in age, romance to come, romance. It wasn't even a horror show us at this point, and then the horror started happening.
Right.
Yeah.
And we realized that Ellie was a vampire, and we were like, wait a minute, what in the hell? She's a vampire. But then again, first time watch, we're not paying attention that she doesn't have on shoes. We're not paying attention that she's not wearing a coat. We do notice that Oscar asks if she's cold, and we're like, oh, we know kids like that just want to be outside in the cold because they feel bad, right?
Put your jacket on.
We have kids right now that will walk around in 100-degree weather in hoodies.
Yes.
Yeah. It is. I think a lot of the dialogue and some of the other things, and honestly, some of the situations are so innocuous in the fact of like, okay, like that is a typical, like we all knew the kid that would go out in the middle of like when it's cold and have barely anything on, or like same thing. So, but then when you second watch, it is so nefarious and it's so in your face, but it's so subtly there that you're like, oh my God, I, as a person, if I was put in that scenario at that age, I probably hugely would have gone over my head up until the build up to like, oh no, you're a vampire. Yeah.
And like, because this isn't an in your face vampire movie.
Not at
because all. Even when you watch, even if you, like I said, first watch, you're like, oh, look at these kids. They're in love. Oh, he's being bullied. You also don't think Oscar is a psychopath.
Right.
Until you watch it the second time.
And you're like, oh,
wait a
no.
minute. This kid is psycho.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the reason why it is what it is. Like, it's just one of those films that, you're not paying attention the first time. You're not looking at all of the signs. You're not paying attention to what's going on around in the back. You're not paying attention because you're just like, oh, look at these two kids.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're like, oh,
wait a minute, she's a vampire.
You're like, oh. It goes from like, oh to oh.
Yeah, but that quiet calm, it's not in your face, I think really lulls you into that too. There's no blood rave to start the movie.
Right.
Yes.
All right, so now
that would have been totally cool.
Now we'll get to our climax of the film. Climax being, I would say, the pool scene. Oscar getting lured there. The kids set up a fire outside to trick the teacher to come out. Now the bullies come in. The older brother's like, you took my brother's ear, so I'm going to hold you underwater for 3 minutes. And if you can't stay, and if you can do it the whole time, I'll just nick you. But if you can't, I'm going to take your eye, pluck your eye out. And eye for an ear. And he's like, but that's impossible. It's like, well, you'll have to do it. Fucked up. So then, boom, plunge, hold Oscar's head underwater. We see the shot from underwater, like from the pool wall with the hand just holding Oscar's head.
Him sort of like black out.
And then we see a pair of feet appear in the pool and get dragged back to the other side while they're kicking. And then they get pulled out, and then a head gets tossed in, and then the arm gets detached, and he's blacked out. He's passed out. He's not dead yet. And a hand pulls him out. Ellie to the rescue. The boy who felt bad about bullying and had started sobbing on the bench, still sobbing on the bench. Martin, Connie, and Jimmy are all dead. And
Dude, I think it's Connie's body is like fuck. I didn't realize until this watch. It's like crumpled. Like
Is
it's
it?
like his body's a fucking accordion.
Ooh.
It's like in all
missed it.
different kinds of awkward angles.
Yeah.
Or I like again, I haven't caught that. I thought he was just laying there. I'm like, oh no. She pulled these kids apart like soft bread. Like this is not good.
Well, and I think she particularly, because this is after he saved her, right? When she was sleeping in the bathtub.
Yeah.
So
They got each other's back.
So I think that created made their bond even deeper.
So a quick question. Do you not need an invitation if it's a public pool?
Because she was already there. So I think, again, the person that wrote the book also did the screenplay, and he didn't really know a lot about vampire lore.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't know about like she needed an invite into certain spaces. But what I've learned in my research is that when it's a public space, vampires don't need an invitation.
That makes sense.
Because it's a public space.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Like that makes sense. Like private domiciles, things like that. Yeah.
Right. And the only reason why I knew that is because of Sinners, because the juke joint was owned by Smoke and Stack.
Yeah, it was private.
So it's not a public place.
Yeah.
But any public
But if there was like a town square or something. Yeah.
Or like a store, you know what I'm saying? Like,
sure. Yeah.
They could just walk right in and be like.
Well, but a store would be interesting because stores are privately owned. You know what I mean? Like if you tried to go to the grocery store, do you need to be invited in? Be like, excuse me.
Yeah.
The way they said it wasn't because, yes, stores are technically owned by people, but like we're talking like a grocery store, like owned by like a corporation.
Sure, but I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
particularly in Sinners, there's two different grocery stores on the other side of the street, and not everybody's allowed.
Owned by both.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's a public place. Oh, actually, it was Sinners, but it also was Dracula 2000 because he walked into a Virgin record store, and I was like, wait a minute, I said, awesome. He don't need an invite to go in. And the person I had on Blue, he said, no, it's a public space.
Right.
And it's not owned by a person.
And not all movies follow that lore either. I can't think of examples. But for instance, I know I referenced Blade before. I don't think they follow the invite lore in Blade.
Oh, they didn't. Not at all.
No.
They just walk wherever they want to. But
they actually
that would
break
explain
a
why
lot of
Ellie
lore
was
in
at the
Blade.
pool.
Sure. Right. Yeah.
But honestly, I love the climax of this movie because it's
what I remember most, I think.
It shows the power of Ellie, but without showing it. Like you're still getting it from Oscar's perspective because he's underwater, but like the most outlandish shit that's in this film, as in like attack wise, you don't see. Like I was gobsmacked when I saw that kid's heels getting dragged through the entire pool lane, like 6 feet in, which means that Ellie is floating above the water and dragging this person like so she can fly.
And you've never really seen anything like that before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Presentation wise. Yeah. So what do we think? I guess we liked it.
Liked it. Yeah.
And everybody who doesn't like to see the bullies get their comeuppance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody likes seeing the bullies get it.
For sure.
Because again, most of the time, if my little brother got beat up by a little girl, my first thought isn't, or even if he got his ear damaged by said little girl, my first thought is not to go and drown this little girl. My first thought is to put hands and feet on her.
Yeah. Well, okay, so this is also a really weird one too, where it's like because of, and maybe this might also be a manipulation tactic by Ellie, is that like Ellie could have, quote unquote, stopped these bullies without killing them, but she tore 3 kids apart. And the only likely suspect is Oscar. Like he's the only one because like all these other kids left. So it's now this weird aspect where like now nobody else knows. So like Oscar now is
Now you
literally
have to run away with me.
now you have to run
Now
away with
you
me because
have
now
to
I've
run away with
murdered
me.
all-
Yeah.
So it almost puts him in an impossible situation because he realizes he's like, oh wow, if I stay, I have to logically explain why all of these people are dead, including a guy next door to my house.
Right.
Like at this point, he has to be on the run.
And it would explain why she left the one kid alive, because he's going to be the one to snitch.
Yeah.
And
we're doing this to Oscar, and then all this shit happened, and like, well, we believe it up to this point, but it seems like Oscar was an unhinged kid, especially like they go into his room and find his journal.
Yeah,
they're gonna find his journal, and then now you also have his teachers are gonna be like, yeah, he whacked him up the side of the face with a stick.
Yep. Escalated violence, all of that shit.
Oh, Ellie, you bad son of a bitch.
right. In that light, you're like, oh fuck, this is like beyond grooming. Like this is like master manipulation shit.
Right.
She's been doing it for centuries.
I was gonna say, she's been doing this for a minute. She's like, I got this down to a science. I know how to do this, baby.
This is what I do.
I just find the most fucked up kid that I can find, and it's on from there.
Built different. All right. Okay, so before we move on to our extra credit questions.
Extra credit?
Yeah. What did we learn about European films? That was our subject, if you remember.
European films. Well, I think it's I
would say it's a different approach. At least, when you really get outside of English speaking cultures. Yeah. This is what is Swedish Scandinavian.
Well, I think with the European, at least with this European film, it really it takes the paint thinner and kind of strips down what a vampire is, and really kind of shows the grittiness of it, and that like it's obviously we have pumped up the vampire to be like oversexed and in some actually figuratively and literally glittery, and like what I mean, like you have these aspects of like this sexy facade and like this kind of thing, and then when this is completely stripped down almost to the point of like almost like original Nosferatu, like an unclean one where it's like they smell funny. They're not supposed to be like,
is it Salem's Lot,
alluring,
right? That has like the gross vampires.
Yes. Yes. So like that kind of aspect where it's like, this is it. And even when she bites another one where it's like an infection and things like that, like this is not, there's nothing glamorous about Ellie. And a lot of
vampires
this is
even use their glamour on people. Like that's a thing, right?
Yeah. And like this European version of what a vampire is, to me, is way more fucked up and way more disturbing as a creature. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, you may look at like Interview with a Vampire and be like, man, that'd be kind of cool to like fucking like have ruffled shirts and prance around and maybe do some stuff for a little while. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like at least a little part. When you watch this, you're like, God, this is a curse, and this is super fucked up, and like in realizing the cycles and the manipulation. We're like like the levels of manipulation that are plausible in this film is like just Ellie going like, time to make the donuts, and like this is just her. This is just a function of her being, you know what I mean? Which is like makes it that much more fucked up and weird.
All right, great. Well, let's move on to the extra credit questions. All right, first one, how would we survive? How many? These are all going to be a little weird because usually because this movie is sort of so deconstructed in a different version of like horror story, a lot of these questions don't apply the way they would to most of the movies we cover. Anyway, how would we survive? How many are sacrificed?
I think now, obviously, Meka G, we just met today, but I feel that we're all in the continuous group where I feel like we probably all would help a child. So in that aspect, I think all of us are fucking dead. Like if she's on the prowl and ready to feed, I think all of us are nice enough that we probably help a child
we see
in
a
a
shoeless
snowstorm.
child in the snow asking for help.
We're fucked. Like we're fucked.
I'm dead.
You know what I mean?
I'm gone.
Fair enough.
You know?
Make sure
Yeah.
that I'm wearing a pretty black dress.
Right? Yeah, I think it might be a little more harder on the uptake. Like I don't think if we were in Oscar's shoes as who we are now, like if we're all just hanging out in the students of horror van, and then like this Ellie's like, hey, I need someone to help me because I'm a defenseless vampire and can you help me feed me people? I think all of us I think that'd be a whole bag of nope. But like, and in turn, we probably would get killed because of that, you know?
Right. Or we just gather together and be like, okay, so what are all the ways you can kill a vampire?
Right. Yeah.
Let's do this. We're in.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Like we know sunlight works in this for sure.
Absolutely. Yes. And cats. We just got to go to a cat lady's house and just hold up.
Right. Just kick it with the cats.
Go to an animal shelter.
Why do you have so many cats? I'm worried about vampires.
I'm worried about vampires all the time, man.
All right. So here gets some tricky ones. We do hero level and villain level. I'm not even sure this movie has a hero, but Oscar is our protagonist, so we'll say it's Oscar. But then we measure their tenacity and iconography. He doesn't really, he teams up with the villain, I guess. If Ellie's the villain, I guess you could say Connie or the bullies are the villain, but Ellie really is the villain.
Well, I would say for Oscar, like if we're doing like iconography 1 to 5 and then tenacity 1 to 5, I would probably give Oscar maybe the middle ground of like tenacity at like a 2.5 because he's incredibly meek when we first meet him. And then it escalates to the point of like, he's still meek, maybe a 2 actually, just because but he does actually kind of get some.
She does give him some confidence.
And confidence, you know what I mean? Where it's like that, his tenacity does kind of ramp up a little bit. I mean, obviously not to the point because we don't actually see Oscar murder anybody. He's not to that point yet. He's more of just like the caretaker. And I'm assuming that Ellie is going to groom him later.
Yeah, she's going to show him how to do it.
Yeah, the aspects of murdering.
Listen, you need a funnel. You're going to need a jar. You're going to need rope.
Yeah, right. You need this weird gas. I would also say for iconography, the haircut maybe gives him 1.
He's very. I feel like if I saw, it'd have to be a kid. I don't know. If I saw an adult,
you'd have
in
to
like
have
a
Ellie
wig,
and Oscar.
Yeah, to recognize them, even at a horror con. Yeah, it'd be tough.
Yeah, Oscar by themselves,
boots.
I feel there would just be a Swiss kid at a horror convention. I would not immediately think of
Swedish.
Oscar from Swedish. Sorry.
It's like in The Thing.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. I don't know. I would say maybe for Oscar's character, I would give him at most a 3. You know what I mean? More likely, maybe like a 2.5, and that would be combining iconography and tenacity for me.
I'd probably go on 2 for iconography and 2 for tenacity. So we can say 1.5 iconography. Is any of this making sense to you, Meka G? What we're saying?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
All right.
I'm joking. No, I understand what you're saying. Like to me, Oscar he does come off very, very, shy. And, again, first watch, you're like, oh, look at this kid. I feel so sorry for him. But then you watch again and you're like, oh, look at this kid. He's like one step away from becoming Dahmer.
And we know he is going there because he found the right mentor for that. He could have gone either way, probably.
So he wouldn't have gotten there on his own. But that's the point of it, is that Ellie gave him that push and was like, you need to stand up for yourself. And when he did stand up for himself, that's when everything changed for him. And he became ultimately, when it came to his bullies, until he ended up in the pool,
Yeah.
he ultimately became his own hero.
Yes.
True.
Yeah. He saved himself.
Right. And it was all because Ellie was like, you want to be, you tired of getting bullied by bullies? Come to Death Row.
Tired of bullies dancing in your videos. All right. So villain level. Bullies are the villains, but I would say Ellie's the real villain, right?
Ellie's the overarching baddie, even though portrayed as a goodie, kind of. I think power level. Okay, so this is also where we can kind of start. Power level to me is if we buy the master manipulator theory going through this, that I feel that weighs heavy on her power level.
But it might only be on for children, right? We haven't seen her master manipulate adults except for the guy, but we assume that she started with him as a child.
Yeah.
Right. She definitely started with him as a child.
I mean,
no adults gonna follow no kid.
Yeah, right. Like,
kill for me.
Apparently in the book, he was an adult and like a pedophile, and that's how they got hooked up.
I mean, that's the only way, but in reality, let's...
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, unless you have some... The only other adult that I feel would even remotely be able to be mentally manipulated would be like a mother or a father that lost a child. Like, if you can... If the idea of having a eternal child... kills their kid and then comes in... But like the idea of like someone who had lost a kid and then like having the idea of like an eternal child... I could understand that kind of mental manipulation, but I think you're 100% right. Like, I don't think any normal human being would see this scenario and be like, "That'll help her out."
Right.
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen?
What's the
Well, and we know she has maybe some kind of flying power, skittering thing. We know she rips people apart, going to power level. And she's got the manipulation thing. I'd say she's pretty powerful. I'd probably we don't know the limits though. We also know she can just be kicked off of somebody. So I'm going to say 3.5 out of 5 for me sounds about right for power level.
I would say so, because if 5 is godlike powers, like obviously she does not have that, but she does have immortality, and I would probably say maybe like between like a 3 and a 3.5, because I think that is also the kind of the gray area, is because a lot of her powers are not shown directly on camera. We don't really know the full extent of her powers, because she doesn't show them to Oscar. You know what I mean? Like a lot of this stuff is very cloak and dagger to the fact of like not knowing how crazy powerful she is.
Right. I have to give her a 3 as well too, because the stuff that we do know about vampires, as far as like them hypnotizing people, she didn't have to hypnotize Oscar. She just manipulated him. She knew. Yeah.
She's got to work harder actually, because she can't just hypnotize him.
It's true. But she targeted him.
Oh yeah.
She watched him and was like,
that's what groomers do.
Like, right. She was just like, oh, you crazy. Crazy too. We can be crazy together.
Yeah, your crazy matches my crazy.
Right. So she is the ultimate, and it goes into how easy is it to manipulate a child?
Yeah.
Very.
Because
I mean, comparably,
we trick our kids every day into eating vegetables. Be like, because all you gotta do is blend it in.
Right. Yeah.
And they don't know any. They don't know. And you're just like, gotcha. You ate your veggies, and they're like, wait, what? It was in the mac and cheese.
It's like, got you.
Somebody.
It is. Go
ahead.
No. Go ahead. So.
I was just going to be about child manipulation. I was just going to say, if somebody was just telling me the other day they never liked soda because their mom, when they were kids, were like, oh, I don't like the bubbles in my mouth. It hurts my mouth. And so they've never been a soda drinker because of that little trick. Child manipulation.
It's easy to get into a child's head.
Yeah.
And of course, Ellie knows that because she's been on Earth for God knows how long, right?
Yeah,
so
like plus hundreds of years.
I know that you've been bullied. I know that your mom doesn't pay attention to you. I know that you live with a single parent.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, come to death row. We got this.
And it's such an interesting concept you bring up too, because it's like almost like the human condition, where it's like if this is a cycle for her, then obviously these narratives of bullying and isolation and things like that are such a universal human condition that like she can sense it out and just do the same thing over and over and over and over again. Because us as human beings, like there's always going to be outliers. There are always going to be kids that are getting bullied. There's always going to be that aspect of growing up that like she can prey on. And then when she finds someone that fits the nodes that she needs for the next iteration of, Haken or caretaker, that she can kind of latch onto,
In that order.
Mm-hmm.
I like thinking of her as a little Suge Knight. All right. Iconography.
Just dangling at Oscar on his legs outside of a balcony somewhere.
You want to be a part
monster.
of this.
All right. Iconography. I feel like she's even harder to recognize. I mean, you think she's easier to recognize than Oscar?
I would say if she was in a white shirt with the slicked hair, if you got a little bit of fake snow on her and she was bleeding from the eyes, the ears, and the scalp, I could probably tell that cosplay.
That's
you know what I mean?
lot.
Like, I think she's more identifiable if I was like walking around than Oscar would. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe for you, I'd be like, "What's this bloody face, girl, lady?"
Are you supposed to be Carrie?
Yeah,
Is that like corpse paint with blood?
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'd still say it's still low for me, so I'm still in that like low 1 to 2 range.
Yeah,
What
I
about
can see it too. I mean, I would probably say maybe closer to a 3 for me, but like I could see a 2. You know what I mean? Because obviously Ellie would have to be in very specific attire and garbs for me to kind of catch.
Well, of course, that's
you know
part
what I mean?
of it. Yeah.
It would have to be down to like the hairstyle, and then you did, the blood from the eyes, and you would literally have to have blood coming from like, and be barefooted, and and be in the clothes that Ellie was wearing.
Yes.
Then I would be like, oh, I know exactly who you are. But then again, most people don't know.
Right.
Yes.
Don't know this movie,
Exactly.
So
That'd be one of those hard ones.
I'm gonna give it a 2.25.
Sounds amazing.
Which gives her a 5.5, which is higher than our hero or protagonist in this case, Oscar, of 3.5. So it works because the villain does defeat him, so to speak. She brings him to the dark side, brings him to death row, all that stuff. All right. Should it have a sequel? If it did, what would your sequel be? I don't think it needs a sequel.
No. Yeah, I mean, like if
it did have one, I'd follow them. Like, what's next?
Yeah. I would. Yeah, it would be either like a continuation. I don't even know if I'd necessarily, because of how.
Oh, you know what I do?
Abstractly traumatizing the origin, because like of Ellie becoming a vampire. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't really want to watch that. I would probably say either a continuation of Oscar or maybe something in between that. Maybe like a different time period. Like if we had, Europe in like, the 1800s or something like that, might be kind of an interesting feel.
I thought of what my sequel would be. I'd pick it up immediately afterwards and have sort of a opposite character to Ellie. It's like a real human that actually genuinely cares about Oscar and is sort of, and he's connecting with them, and it's starting to cause a rift between the two, and how that plays out.
Yeah, Ellie's like, somebody gots to go.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure.
Right. You're not gonna mess this up for me. Because where are they gonna go?
Yeah.
They're kids.
Yeah.
Switzerland.
Where are they gonna go?
Somewhere.
Finland.
No, but I mean, Meka G, you make a really good point, because it's like even though obviously like the grooming and Oscar's still a kid. So like the idea of just a single rider kid roaming around, like they can't, it's like he's not able to like rent a car. He can't like actively like get an apartment somewhere. Like, you know what I mean?
He
Like
keep dragging that chest around. How heavy is Ellie?
He's clearly very
that's
weak.
the cosplay. If Oscar was lugging around a giant steamer trunk around a convention hall somewhere that was tapping on that, know exactly who he
and then
was.
every once in a while he'd tap on it, and then something would tap back.
Yes.
All right. What prop do we want from this movie? Do we want a prop from this movie?
Oh, I want the egg, dude. The
Oh,
egg
yeah,
puzzle
hell yeah.
that collapses down that has
With
the
the little
solid
gold ball
gold
inside.
sphere in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, how do you put that back together?
You don't.
I don't, yeah. Which is kind of fun too, because that also plays into Ellie's obsession with puzzles.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let me get that
The
jar of
Rubik's Cube.
acid.
Oh, the acid jar, yeah.
Let me get the acid jar.
I feel
Ooh,
like
that's a good one.
Yeah, there's not too much iconic. Can't really think of an iconic prop from it. Yeah.
Give me those CGI cats.
How?
I don't have to feed them. You know what I mean? I could just put them on a hard drive. You
Just
know
be
what
my
I mean?
screensaver.
That'd be my screensaver. Just feral cats screaming.
That's funny.
All right. This one would be a tough one for a midnight showing. I don't know how you'd actively participate with this one and yelling out or throwing stuff at the screen. Got any ideas for
I would
that?
I only had one.
Okay.
And it's the dog scene, the poodle scene where he's swiping to go away. Everyone just throws dog biscuits at the thing to try to distract the dog.
Sure.
I
Go
don't
away.
go away. Dog biscuits.
I don't know that I have one. Maybe every time Ellie does anything manipulative to Oscar, you just go, boo.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, you could do like actual, pool lifesavers, like just throwing them at the screen while he's underwater
or
trying to
candy
help him out.
lifesavers.
Or candy lifesavers, which probably would save the screen more than physical.
And you don't have to, they're easier to bring in,
That's true.
And you get to snack on them.
When Buddy falls out of the window, they go, dun, 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 dun. Like Superman.
That's a good one. That is a good one. All right. And then concession vehicle for this movie. I'm going popcorn bucket. That's the pool, but the aftermath. So the pool is where the popcorn is, but the rest of it is the aftermath. So you got the scattered bodies around, the crumpled up, and the little boy crying and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. It's yeah, I could see that. I was gonna say maybe just because it's the weird bathtub. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like that could be also a different. Yeah, that's a different. Or to be totally honest with you, why don't we just do it like oh my god, having it as the steamer trunk, right? But then it's got like a little it's got like a little noise activation, so it just taps.
Oh, and that's how you like.
And it taps back to you, so it sounds like something's tapping on the inside where the popcorn is.
Full popcorn.
I'd also do a drink that's like looks like a person hanging upside down, and you stick the straw in their neck, and that's where you drink from.
Oh, like a human human body shaped Capri Sun.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh no, just a yogurt pack, actually.
Oh.
No, the pack comes with a yogurt pack.
Yeah, exactly.
Include your own yogurt sucking sounds.
The Go-Gurt promotion.
Yes, there we go. Yeah.
As if I couldn't like yogurt less. All right. That gets us through our questions. We're going to do our ratings, see what our friends in the Discord have to say about this movie, and then we will be all wrapped up. So on this show, we do ratings a little differently. We do a scale of 0 to 5, and each point represents a different quality about the movie. So you'll have 0 to 1 points for engaging, for sticky, for stuffable, for cockles, for rewatchable. We put them all together, and that's how we get our scores. Let's try and treat every movie the same. And also, we like seeing how well it turns out for everybody. So I'll start with Brian's. He plugged his numbers in here. So I will say what they are, even though I obviously can't expand upon it. So for engaging, he said 0.75. Sticky is 0.75. Stuffable is 0.75. Cockles is a 1. And rewatchable is 0.75, which gives him 4 out of 5. And I'm guessing that feels right in his heart. Ross, let's jump over to you.
Okay. Let's engaging. Engaging. I'm gonna give the full 1. I have seen this a few times. Every time, I think we've definitely brought it up, is that like the first time watching this is a completely different experience than like the second or third time watching it, because I think you start like it's an ogre vampire. It's got layers. Like it's got, you know what I mean? So Predator, like the more layers. I watch this, like there's tons of layers. There's more subtleties, you know what I mean? Whether it be like the hopping down from the beginning of the movie, or like some of the background stuff, or you know what I mean? Like I think there's so many different nooks and crannies to this film that I'm still, at least at this point, fully engaged, just to see if there's something else I'm missing, because I'm always finding something new every time that I rewatch this that I didn't see the previous view. Sticky, I think Sticky I'm going to get a point. I'm probably going to do a 0.75 for Sticky. There are a lot of scenes that are super memorable. I'm going to be totally honest with you, it loses the 0.25 because like every other rendition of this, I completely forget the times that he goes to his dad's place. Like the interactions with his father, and then like the father's friend, or at least this last viewing, I'm sitting there going like, is this like the father's boyfriend?
Right.
Is this like
that's what I was wondering too.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know what the relation, like I was pondering, I was like, okay, but then I was like, do I remember watching this the first time? Like did this like completely go over my head? So yeah, it loses the 0.25 for that. Stuffable is gonna get, I want to say Stuffable is probably gonna get a 0.5. It's good. And I would for sure rock a shirt, or like, have the poster or things around those lines. I think the more that I kind of really sit with the idea of Ellie being this master manipulator, groomer, hundreds of years old thing, it kind of deters me from like really championing.
Especially, I think that's what it, again, I know the book's different.
It's hard.
I don't know about the American remake, and I think there was a TV show from a couple years ago. But certainly in this version, I think that is certainly my interpretation of who she is.
Yeah. And I think that does diminish it a little bit. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, I wear the shirt. I just don't know. Yeah. I think the more that I kind of like sit on it, it's just that like, I don't know. It's just cool. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Then Cockles, I will say honestly, Cockles gets the full 1, because even with the nefarious nature of the possible grooming and things like that, I think it just adds to what a different vampire film this is in comparison to the pantheon of other vampire films, and it really accomplishes what a lot don't, in the fact that like obviously it's fantasy, it's hard, stuff like that, but like this one has this like 80, like I don't know, this plausibility to it, where it's like, okay, if these things were to exist, like this is probably the closest thing that you probably, you know what I mean, where it's like, okay, it's like, it's not glamorous, it's just fucking weird, and like they're put in these bizarre situations, all the characters involved are just not, there's no like not A-list, but like there's no gleam, like everyone has their own flaws and things in this movie. Like I think it's a lot more grounded than other ones. And I like that. It's just like, it's when I see a vampire movie, like this is so different than other vampire films, that it just like, I don't know, it really hit home for me. Rewatchable, I think is gonna get the points. It's gonna get the 0.75. I will for sure probably revisit this, but this will be one of those like slow burn ones, just because like it's, again, like having like the because of
New perspectives.
Yes, exactly. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be one of those where like kind of you have to be the right mood for it. Or to be totally honest with you, like this would definitely, I mean, this is definitely a throw in the ring if someone wants to watch vampire movies. Like I would be fucking like, okay, like this is a good one to throw into the mix. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would probably say 0.75 for that.
That gives you 4 out of 5 total. How does that feel for you?
Good. You know what I mean? I thought I'd actually be a little higher on this one. I do really like this fucking movie a lot. But yeah, 4 with room to grow.
Sure. Yeah, and those newfound revelations may have brought it down a little bit currently, you know.
Yes.
We'll see where you get to. All right, I'll run through mine real quick. Engaging, I'm going to go with Brian at 0.75. I found it on this watch, found it very engaging through the first half, maybe through the first 2 acts. I don't know. Once it was fully revealed to Oscar that she was a vampire, I found myself going on my phone and just looking things up and being like, oh no, I got to watch this movie. You know, just thinking of things I needed to do instead of like being fully involved. It's not like I was going and scrolling through social media or anything. I'd just be like, oh yeah, I got to look that up or whatever. So 0.75 there. Sticky, how memorable it is, how much I'm going to think about it. I mean, there's certain shots that I feel like I'm going to remember shots more than anything. And then sort of this weird dynamic and what it all really means. I almost feel like it needs a few more watches till I can even really determine how I feel about all of it. But Sticky, I'll give a 0.75 to be generous. It's probably more like a 0.5, but I always like to give a movie a higher score if I can. Stuffable, do I want anything from it? How good does it all look? Could it make good merchandise? I'm going to go a 0.5 there. As great as I think this movie looks, I don't really necessarily want anything from it. If I saw, it would have to be really cool. If I saw something that looked really cool, I would grab it. But I'm not just out here trying to get any let the right one in merch that comes along. It's got to be the right one, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Cockles, how did it make me feel in my heart? The tone, the vibe. Visually, I love it. I love the snow. I feel like it really hits winter horror, kind of like what you were saying on Rewatchable for a vampire thing. If somebody wanted a winter horror or a snowy horror setting, this would be a top go-to for me for that. So Cockles, it's tough because it would have been a 1 and now it would have been a 1 before this watch. And now after this watch, I'm like not sure how I totally feel about it. So I'm going to give it a 0.75 there. And then
it's because of the implications.
Yeah, just I get it's just like it changes how I feel about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And then rewatchable, I'm going to give the 0.75 to, because actually this conversation made me want to go poke around and explore it even more, to see like, well, what exactly is happening and how do I feel about that and what happened here and how did this present itself, all those types of things. So that gives it a 3.5 out of 5, which is definitely lower. I know I have it as a 4 on Letterboxd, but I'm fine with it, so I'll leave it there. Meka G, popping over to you. We are going to ask you to run through the points real quick. I will feed them to you and keep track of everything, and then you can let me know if it seems accurate or not. Okay. So engaging, that's just, you know, how involved were you in it the whole time or not?
So obviously first watch, yes, I was fully engaged, but this watch, I was very much like you, like once it started like, oh, he's figured it out. I also found myself like looking things up and being like, oh, let's see let's go look at Wikipedia real fast. Yes. But I will give it probably a 0.75.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Anything to a 1. We used to be strict on like quarters, but really 0 to 1. Do whatever you like. Sticky, how often are you going to find yourself thinking about it? / how memorable is it for you? Like, do you pretty much remember everything that happens in the movie or not?
I mean, I do remember everything that happened in the movie because, I mean, obviously, because I said it earlier, I was like, oh, wait, that did happen.
Right.
But as far as like, am I going to be thinking about this tomorrow or maybe like in the near future? No. And so give it a point. I give it a 0.5.
Sure. 0.5 it is. Stuffable, that's like merchandisable, essentially. Like, is there anything that you think would be really cool to have from this movie?
Nothing from this movie.
Nothing from this movie. It's going to be a fat 0 for that one.
Maybe the acid jar. That's it. I want the acid jar. Give me the jar. But no, I will. Maybe, the movie poster is pretty dope. So I give it a 0.5.
0.5? You can go 0.25 if you want.
Let's go 0.5.
0.5, be generous.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little generous. Because there's besides the jar, I would also just like a wig of Oscar's hair.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's a good one. That'd be good to
we should all get them
when you go to the midnight
showing.
Yeah, everybody wears their Oscar wigs.
When you go to the midnight showing, everybody has on the Oscar wigs.
Yeah. All right, Cockles, that's like how did the vibe of the movie work for you, though, overall, just, how it makes you feel?
I was gonna give it a 1, but no. I'm gonna give it a 0.75. Because like overall, like, the movie is what it is. Yes, it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But it's weird in like a almost kind of good way. Because again, first time watch, you're like, oh, these kids. Second time, you're like, oh, damn, these kids.
Yes.
But you also you kind of are low key rooting for Oscar because you don't want to see him get manipulated and become this vampire's,
murderer.
New murderer.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the inevitable is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I agree. All right. And last rewatchable, how often do you think you'll be revisiting this?
Oh, I ain't revisiting this no time soon.
Sure.
No time soon. The only reason why I even want to talk about it with y'all because I seen the post and I was like, oh, I like that movie, and then I watched it and I was like,
wait a second.
What movie did you watch?
Yeah, I mean, I had the exact same experience. I remember thinking before, like, it's this sort of strange, beautiful movie, and now I'm like,
right.
I mean, I guess that's kind of still the case, but I'm not really. It's a lot darker than I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we are in the same boat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give it for rewatchability. I'll give it a 2.5.
2.5. 0.25.
Because
totally understandable.
It's fair.
It's just not one of those ones that I'm like, oh, let the right one in. It's on Tubi.
Can't wait to revisit it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next, Return of the Living Dead Part 2 is on Tubi.
Right.
Turn that on.
Turn that on. That's party time. You know what I mean? Like, it is, because it's such a fucking darker, like, I think what I thought about the movie almost 20 years ago, and then like rewatching it, I'm like, God, this is so much fucking darker. When you get past the surface of it, like, it's like you got to sift through the snow to get to the blood.
Ooh.
And you're just like, once you get it, you're like, oh God. All right. This is
right. You're watching it through a different lens. So like,
yes,
Sam, we watched it the first time and we're like, oh, this is so cute. Yeah. And then, we get, a comic, you're watching it the first time and you get to the end and you're like, yeah, stick it to the bullies. Mm-hmm. And then you watch it again and you're like, everybody's crazy. Everybody is insane in this movie. Nobody is. The only people that's not sane, that's not crazy in this movie is the town people, Locke, and his homeboy that was found in the river twerking.
So that gives you a 2.75 out of 5. Does that feel like what you would have rated it?
Right. I mean, not first time watch. I probably would have gave it something higher, but like, now? Yeah, that sounds about right.
Cool.
Oh, for sure.
Excellent. Okay. All right, we're going to see what our study buddies in the Discord have to say about this one. I think we only got a couple comments. I forgot to ask until yesterday.
Yeah, I think Scotty's comment was about the remake.
Well, he changed it.
And then he was like, he did change it? Yeah. Okay, good.
So first we have our friend Blake, the sore thumb collector. He said, I hadn't watched this in a long time. I remember liking it quite a bit, but I forgot how damn good this one is. It's such an original way to tell a vampire story. I really love the atmosphere and how all of the gore and unsettling moments are really highlighted by the cold setting. Perfect casting, great direction, and beautiful cinematography make this a perfect film. 5 out of 5. Which I definitely agree with parts of that, and I wonder how you'll feel after hearing our conversation.
As I say, sorry, not sorry.
Right. Then Scotty,
yeah, right. Yeah.
Scotty chimed in thinking we were covering the remake, but turns out he gives both movies the same score. So we'll jump down to when he did talk about this one. And he said, all right, so the American remake is one that he likes equally or a bit more than the Swedish one. He hasn't seen this one in years, but he's pretty sure he would get it 4.5 out of 5, same as Let Me In, which is the American remake. It's definitely... Oh, and then he went on to joke about how he confused the two names. Because we had a whole first... bit on the remake was his first comments. And then so that was Scotty, fun with horror. Then we also had T-Boo, who just said, oh, that's a good movie. And yeah, so now we'll go see how this compares to other movies in the Goo Book, which is where we have the collection of all our ratings. So it gives it overall a 3.8 out of 5, which gives it a B. Doesn't get to stay at a 4 or higher. Doesn't get to stay in the library here, but gets kicked out. And let's see what other 4.8s we have. Well, first, real quick, I will say, combined with our guest score, it brings it to a 3.3, which is a C+. And then just the student score, we have other movies around this score that are... Oh, we got a good amount of 3.8s. Let's see here. Club Dread, Mother, with an exclamation point. Lowlifes, Freaky, We Are Still Here, Phantasm, Quarantine, Silent Night, Deadly Night, The Blair Witch Project, Creepshow, Child's Play, The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, Child's Play 2, Thanksgiving, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1956, It, 2017, and The Exorcist are all 3.8s. So, sitting with a lot of other strong movies. 3.9s, we only have a few. You got Uzumaki, Knife Plus Heart, and 13 Ghosts. And 3.7s, looks like there's quite a few. I'll just name off a few. Inside, The Monster Squad, Jason X, Final Destination. So, all around some good stuff, but none of those are keepers in our book because we only keep 4 or higher from a collective score. So it means we all had to hit pretty high on it. And some of these, actually a lot of these, might be dragged down by me being lower than everybody else. But what are you going to do?
No.
So that does it. That wraps up our show. Meka G, thank you so much for joining us. We were so happy to have you here.
Yeah.
Make sure to go check out her show, Cinematic Nightmares. We'll have you plug that in any way you like in just a second. If you are enjoying our show, follow Students of Horror on Instagram or Threads to keep up with what we're doing. If you want to see Ross's killer tattoo work, follow at Ross Purvis on Instagram. If you're in the Ottawa area, you can get tattooed by him. You can also buy some of his art. You can follow me at Machete Sam or Brian at Birdwitch, Bird with Y, Witch with an I, on Letterboxd if you want to see what we're watching and commenting on and list making and whatnot. Want to hang out with fellow members of the study group? We have a link to the Discord in the show notes, so you can hop on in there. With small but active, you can comment on the movies we're talking about, talk about new movies, talk to other podcasters. There's a link to all that gooey goodness in the show description. Once again, Meka G, thank you so much for being here. Go ahead and do your plugs. Please tell people whatever you want to tell them.
Thank you. Thank y'all for having me on. Like, I really had fun with this. This was a really great discussion. I had so much fun. So, so my little baby that I call Cinematic Nightmares, you can find me on YouTube and on Instagram under Cinematic Nightmares Podcast. I haven't jumped on Discord. Oh, I'm also on Spotify as well too. So if
That's
you
where I listen.
enjoy listening to audio, then you can also watch the videos on Spotify too, but if you're just an audio head, you can always just switch it over to audio and listen to the episodes on there. So, yeah, Cinematic Nightmares Podcast.
Check it out.
All one word. Make sure you
find it anywhere.
check it
Good
out.
stuff. If you enjoyed the conversation here, you can find more of that there. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, come join Death Row.